It's Deprogram, the podcast where we try to get you into a band and roar. That was a very good Grizzly Bear, if I do say so myself. Did anybody ever go on? We got a couple Virginians here. Anybody ever go on the Grizzly at Kingston Indian? That's all I've been thinking about for the couple weeks we've been doing this. Today we're talking about Grizzly Bear. If you couldn't tell by my super awesome Grizzly Bear impression. Yes, we're the podcast where we try to get you into a band. We've done all the work for you. We've all listened to Grizzly Bear, and now we're going to talk about them because that's what we do here. Jennie, you got to talk first. Yes. I know this brings on the anxiety, but you got to go first because you put Grizzly Bear on the board. Talk to me about Grizzly Bear. What is it about them? Why did we have to talk about them today?
So I first started listening to Grizzly Bear, of all things. I was introduced to them by Adult Swim back in the day, when I'd stay up late and watch adult cartoons, and they did these little the bumps in between shows or like in commercial breaks, and they had one once that had this one-way sign and it had a song playing over it, and I was like, what is this song? I need this in my life. And immediately, I can't remember if it was Shazam or if I Googled, what was in it or whatever. Looked it up and kind of fell in love with them. And I kind of went through this like on again, off again sort of thing. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this band. Like, when I listen to them, I feel like I'm watching a Wes Anderson movie. That's the best way that I can describe it. But like listening to them again now, like I listened through their entire discography in a day to prepare for this show, like probably 2 days basically. And like, man, they're just so good. It's a band that, I usually am very into lyrics, and this is a rare occasion that I kind of don't listen to the lyrics at all. It's kind of more of like the overall feel of the song and the emotion and the the texture of the song or something. I don't know how you describe it. And it's also perfect timing because like I love listening to this band in like autumn. I know we have a couple Australians on the panel who are like not experiencing it at the same time of year as us. So but something about them feels like very like haunted and spooky, and I love that about them. So yeah, they're great.
And I already know the answer to this, Chris, because you confirmed it in our chat leading up. But what put you on to the Grizzly Bear panel?
I mean, super simply, it's been a minute since I've done a pod with Jennie, and she is like literally one of my most favorite people in the world. So
Aww.
I saw there was space in this panel. I said, well, I'm going to sign up for this band that I've never heard of. And you should have seen my mouth dropped open when you mentioned Adult Swim, because I'm like, these guys sound really familiar, and I don't remember from where. And I also was a big Adult Swim watcher, and I'm like, holy shit! Yep. Never like dove into looking for them, but yeah, I remember
Adult
them now.
Swim used to play the shit out of their songs and those bumps back in the day. You probably heard like at least 5 or 6 songs and don't even know it.
Yep.
That's the way it be. Josh, you signed up next. Tell me about Grizzly Bear and what it is about Grizzly Bear that made you want to be here.
I feel like they're just a band that's a little bit more challenging than my usual fare, but they still write great hooks, and they've always got great vocal arrangements, and they're one of those rare bands that I think have 2 singers in the same band that both sound great and they actually do work well together, whereas a lot of the time that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah. I feel like, Jamie, I don't even know if you actually officially signed up. Did Josh kind of volunteer you? I just remember somebody...
I think I did.
Okay.
I think I might have put my name down late because Josh was like, oh, there's quite a few people who have already put the name down for Grizzly Bear. If you're interested, you should put your name down. And I'm like, sure, hell yeah, and put it in. So it seems like I just snuck in.
Just snuck in because we were already in motion. I think I don't know if I had started listening yet, but so talk to me about Grizzly Bear and why did you have to get in at the last minute?
Well, I think it's worth noting I got into Grizzly Bear only, well, it seems recently, but it's about 5 years ago. I was listening to one of the local radio stations here in Melbourne, and I heard on the radio Morning Sound pop up, and it was actually being played a fair bit. And I was like, oh, this is a pretty good sound. And from there, I went through obviously the latest album, Painted Ruins, um, and had the fortune of being able to see them live at what was known as Melbourne Zoo Twilights back in 2018. Which was awesome. And the one thing I remember from that show was they were saying that Grizzly Bear were actually playing that show at a loss, and that they would really appreciate you buying their merch and stuff to really help support them for coming down and basically paying to their fans out of their own pocket. And then, yeah, more recently, I've just really appreciated the complexity of their sounds and the vocalists and their joint harmonies are beautiful to listen to. So they've got a lot going on.
So you guys all kind of hit on a lot of the same things that I was planning on saying here, but it's worth doubling what Chris said. I had no idea. Again, this is a band they definitely do not sound like what I expected a band called Grizzly Bear to sound like. I don't know, but for some reason I was thinking like, you know, some sort of rock outfit. But then when you listen to it, Grizzly Bear is actually quite apt. As Jennie mentioned, like in the earlier records, I was getting like a late autumn, winter vibe, like a very cold, like cave, cold log cabin type of vibes. And then later on, it does give you like an autumn, like sitting around by the fire type vibe. Very cinematic is what I was getting at. So again, you know, to Jenny's Wes Anderson point, like these guys are even in the earlier stuff, it's cinematic in a different way. And then like the later records, cinematic in the more traditional, like painting a picture, like this giant on the screen picture in my dome. And I hate you guys for it, but
you love it.
I do. Man, you know, more on this at a later point, but yes, I do love it because it's really opening my mind, because a band like this never, even though like Chris said, there was always, as I'm combing through it, there's like something familiar about it. And then there's like the one song in specific, I'm sure will come up, that, you know, I remember from bits and pieces, and most specifically that song more recently showed up in an episode of AP Bio. And I was like, what is that? And this was before we started doing, you know, any of the prep work. What is that? And I rewatched AP Bio literally a couple months ago. What is that? And I was like, oh, Grizzly Bear. I think they're on the list. So I kind of sought it out. But so this isn't like a deep discog, but it is dense. There's a lot to choose from. So Jennie, as you're listening to this, as you mentioned, you kind of crammed it all into one day. Like, what are you looking for as you're plucking out your 20 for this?
So I did listen to it all in one day. However, I went back and did it like 2 more times. This is probably the most studying I've done for an episode in a long time, to be honest. So, the first time I listened through, and I just try to get anything that grabbed me. And I listened to it in chronological order, and then I did it in reverse order because like I was kind of familiar with the more early albums, or I was more familiar with those. So I went ahead and listened backwards to try to like get a fresher perspective on the new stuff, and I did end up adding like a ton more. And then at the last minute today, I decided I needed to go look at what I've chosen. And that was the biggest mistake.
Of course it is.
Because I actually had like perfect distributed album representation. And I was like, I don't think I need that for this band. I'm going to go through and kind of kick it around some more. And it just became a hassle. Like, I'm probably going to yell at myself throughout this episode as I look at something and say, why did I cut that? Why did I do that? But I tried to like shape, the first time I went through, I kind of gravitate towards like kind of the more autumny, spooky kind of sounds, like I was saying. When I went back through, I tried to choose some that were a little bit out of my comfort zone, I guess, and like to kind of round out their sound. So we'll see if we match on choosing the same ones, I guess.
I won't be the only wild card, Chris. You'll be the other one as a new listener. Like, what are you gravitating towards as you're putting your 20 together?
I pretty much just picked out a bunch of stuff that just caught me musically first, and then looked into lyrics. It's funny, when I'm listening to these, I'm usually listening to them with one earbud in, because I need to be able to hear like my wife and my children if they need me. So, and I spent like 3/4 of this list going, this is like the worst produced band in the fucking world, because I couldn't hear any of the fucking lyrics. And then I listened to them with both earbuds in and said, oh my God, all of the guys singing is in the right ear, not the left. So I had to go back and listen to a bunch of the other stuff. I wish I had more time to put into this band. My list probably would have been very different, but it's basically just stuff that I dug. So, and I got a weird, I got weird taste. So we'll see how I sync up with everybody.
We'll see if Chris is going to throw us off. Maybe everybody will be more mad at Chris than me this week. We'll see.
I doubt that.
All right, Josh, as you're formatting your list, like, what are you looking for? Like, how are you kind of putting your list together for this?
Well, normally I try to find some sort of equal representation, within reason. Like, I'm not going to put in songs that I don't care about just to get it equal, but usually it sort of ends up pretty equal. But I found that maybe getting into Grizzly Bear a bit later, that the last 2 or 3 albums were really what I centered in on. I didn't have anything off the initial album. Although I know that was more of an Ed solo project more than anything, but even Yellow House only had a few songs from there in my initial cut. So I suppose this time around I just chose the songs I liked the most, which is what I should be doing. But like, there wasn't any. After I saw how I was going to end up with representation, I'm like, stuff it, I'm just going to put them in.
Well, there you go. This seems like that kind of band. You just kind of, you get to a point and you throw your hands up. Jamie, as you come in kind of last minute, what are you doing? Like, what are you looking to bring to the table as far as songs?
Well, I'm going to play the broken record from my previous shows I've appeared on, and just repeat, I'm an album listener. I listen to albums from front to back. That's just how I like to enjoy my music. Similar to Josh, I really dig their most recent 3 albums. I really believe that is the best representation of what I envision Grizzly Bear to be. And similarly, I don't have anything, spoiler alert, from the first album, but the second album, I did manage to grab one. But I think what helped me when I was putting this list together, because I often get led astray by how I enjoy one track because it flows from the previous and ebbs into the next. I picked out the ones that really stood out to me. I really thought I was going to struggle to get 20. I thought I was going to take forever. But then once I basically just mixed once I had my favorites, once I mixed the remaining ones to be completely as far away from their album equivalents as possible, it really helped me find the standout tracks, and I was able to get my 22 and then eventually 20 down with pretty decent conviction. And I think the key things that I really appreciate when I listen to Grizzly Bear is their complexity in the sound and all the bits and pieces that they have that come together to make each track That's probably what I'm listening for as my standout tracks.
So this is sounding like it's going to get pretty wild. I accidentally evened everything out, and I, not like perfectly even, but like kind of like you said, Josh, like within reason even. I too found myself drawn mostly to the back 3 records, and especially Painted Ruins. I think I even said in the chat, what the fuck with Painted Ruins? Like, don't do that to me.
So good.
I don't know why I do that to myself. By the time I get to the last record, I assume, oh, this is where it falls out. Nope. So my first go around was pretty rough. And like as I'm cutting stuff out, like I wanted to show the roadmap of like, because as I mentioned, like the first couple records are cold. I wanted to show how it gets cold to where it gets to that like bigger cinematic, fuller sound. So I found myself doing that. More on that as we get into the actual songs, but we've said a lot. And Jennie, like this could go any way. This could go swimmingly, or this could be a disaster. What do you think for final say? How many do you think we get through unanimously?
I think we're going to be a little split. I'm going to go a little bit skeptical and say, I don't think I'm that skeptical. I'm going to say 4.
Ooh, okay, all right.
I almost said 3. I was real close.
I think 4 is actually rather positive number for a 5-person panel. Chris?
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to take 4. I guess I'll go skeptic, given my brain, and go 3.
3, all right. Josh?
I'll have to go 2.
Wow.
Well, I mean, what
My
other
options were taken.
Yeah, what other options is there? Go higher. Jamie, what do you think?
Josh took my one of 2, so I'm going to go 1.
Well,
are we all just trying to pass off the responsibility of the last pick to each other?
So, yeah.
I think we have too much of an eclectic kind of sound just to get higher than 2 or 3. It could well be 1. I think there's at least 2. 2's taken, so 1 it is.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Well, then maybe I'm going to go super positive then. And, just kind of to Jennie's point, maybe pass off the buck of final say. I'm going to go with 6.
I love it.
I'm going to go with 6. We're going to take a quick pause, and when we come back, we're going to play the game. It's Deprogrammed. And with that, the name of the game is Deprogrammed. The 5 of us have come through the Grizzly Bear discography and plucked out 20 songs that we're now going to mash together in an attempt to create a top 10 starter kit for you in case you have never given Grizzly Bear the time of day. There's a lot of allusion to like songs that you're familiar with. I think this is a really great tone setter, whether it's the one, whether it's even unanimous with 5 people, who knows. But this one has to come into the conversation somewhere. I might as well be the one to put it out there. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Could you, who wouldn't put that on their list, honestly?
Yeah.
There we go.
My notes say fucking obviously.
Right? No, that one felt obvious, and that's why I led with it. But, you never know. Oh. Why is it going through my phone? Don't do that.
I'm pretty certain
anyone
gets into Grizzly Bear, it's from this song.
Right. This was the song that was on AP Bio. It was hold on. I'm gonna go through.
Was this on How I Met Your Mother? I don't know where I heard it from, but I heard it from somewhere before I listened to the band.
Pretty sure
It
it
just
was like a
seems like
radio ad,
something.
potentially.
Oh.
I know I've heard it elsewhere too. Probably like some TV commercials, or I know I bet you some of those bumps that Jennie was talking about on Cartoon Network. I'm fairly certain I had heard it there.
Yeah.
there's something familiar about it, but also it really does do what I love most about Grizzly Bear. Like it's got, great harmonies. It's got unique soundscape. It does have that autumny winter, like kind of I'm going to get warm feeling, like like it doesn't have that cold feeling like the early stuff. It has like let's huddle together and keep warm. So there you go. All right.
By the way, that singer in the background is Victoria Legrand from Beach House in the chorus. The lead singer of them. So she's guest vocaling there.
I like it. I like
Go.
it. That's a little history. Was that your first one, or was King Cruel your first one?
King Cruel, but yeah, I remember hearing this and thinking, oh, that sounds like her a little bit, and then I found out it was. So I'm like, oh, there you
I'll have to
go.
go back and listen to that one.
There we go. Bam. All right. And now let's let the struggle begin. Jenny?
Let's go. So I have to choose the one that got me into the band to begin with, and that's On a Neck on a Spit.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
So Jenny, Chris, not Jamie, not me. Was that a yes, Josh?
Yes.
Okay, so 3.
Yep.
Still alive. 3 is a really good number.
That was my one song off Yellow House.
This is one of those
Spoiler
ones,
alert, sorry.
This is one of those ones, Jenny, that I was listening to just before we got on a call earlier. That I was going, man, I feel like I should probably make room for that. And I didn't. So, all right. Chris.
Well, I'm going to go with the one that I added last minute. I cut one from the first album to add this one on after going back through a few songs. Cheerleader.
Yes.
No.
No.
Me neither. Sorry. 2.
Okay.
All right.
Tie on my list.
Oh, Jamie is upset.
I really dug that song. I'm not sure why I didn't have it on my final list to begin with. And,
Is it safe to say that Vecca Timist is going to be kind of rough? All right. Josh.
I'm going to go with a song of their latest album called Four Cypresses. And just disclaimer, if you get the chance and you do like this song, they've got a great Song Exploder episode of how they make this track. And it's a really good insight into their songwriting process, I think.
I do have
It's
it.
on my list.
I do not.
Okay, so everybody but Chris.
Yeah. Sorry.
I do agree with Josh's point on the Song Exploder. Like, if you didn't fully appreciate the song, like most of us did, but if you haven't already fully appreciated it, if you do listen to the Song Exploder episode, you will really appreciate the little sounds and touches they put onto this song throughout the track. It's fantastic.
All right. Jamie?
I will check that out because I love that podcast.
Me, I'm going to put in my top song just because it really, every time I listen to it, it draws me in, and it's Three Rings.
Yes.
Hold on, well, my
No.
list is not in order. I do have it. Yes.
Oh, so it's a 3.
Yes.
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 I had to look over my list a couple times. That must have been one of my later cuts because I thought I had it, and I'm looking, and it's not there. Not there. All right, back around to me. Okay. Man. How about Colorado territory?
Oh,
I
God.
almost took it just because
yes.
you guys know why.
Colorado.
And it's a good song, but no, I didn't keep it.
Unfortunately, it's not on
either.
mine either.
Oh,
Out of my Yellow House songs, it was between that and another one, and that one didn't make it.
Oh, all right. Jennie.
I love it. I really wanted it, but I didn't. Yeah.
I should have played the game and kept it because I knew somebody. I knew either you or Jennie.
Well, the thing, I mean, it was really tough. Like, I was looking at it at the end of the day, and I was like, do I make room for it? And I felt like I had that sound represented very well in this, because like a lot of their songs have that same vibe. So, I couldn't do it. Let's see. You know what? How about Southern Point?
That was in my backup list. Sorry.
Yes, I do have it. I thought I did.
All right, me too. So that's everybody but Josh.
Putting the team down.
Well, it was in my backup, so it'll go in later.
Yeah, that's. I mean, again, a 4 is as good as in on a 5-person panel. It's really hard to get there. All right, Chris.
Oh shit! It's back to me. All right. How about Yet Again?
Yep. Good song.
Yes.
I got it.
And yet again. Yes, of course I have it.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
There's
Good
the
shot,
2.
Chris.
Yeah,
I told you one was just not going to cut it.
I really like that album. Like, that album is where I had both earbuds in. And was like,
Shields,
oh wow, this is
brilliant
really good.
album, so good.
Yeah.
What's crazy? You know, we'll talk about that maybe in After the Fact or something. I have thoughts on Shields. I think, and to your point, it's a great album. It's a great album. Emphasis on album.
Right.
So more on that later. All right. So Yet Again was Chris. All right. Josh?
Well, staying with the Shields theme, I think we'll go with Gun Shy.
Yes.
No. It was close.
That one was one of my last ones, but no.
So dreamy though. It's
Yeah.
such a nice track.
All right.
Well, it's like Jennie was saying earlier, how some of the songs, I don't know if you used creepy as your word, but that sort of like eeriness that creeps into a lot of their songs. And I even think some of their choices with like the effects they put on the vocals, like, you know, making it really reverbed or distant, and sometimes it's in your face, like it really adds to that sort of ambience of the songs. And that's another one where they sound kind of ghostly in the background.
All right. Jamie?
Should I stick with Shields or go somewhere else? You know, I'll go to another one that I think should hit, and that's Morning Sound.
Yes.
Yep.
I was just looking at the lyrics to that one.
I got it.
Man, I'm sorry. I hate to be that one, because that was like, it was real close at the very end. Like, it was between that and one off of Shields that had a similar vibe, and I chose the other one. But listen, if it comes down to it, like, you're not going to get an argument from me at all.
It looks like we're all going to get to take our turn as being the one. The way it's going right now. So, all right. Background to me, huh? Hold off on those. I feel like... how about While You Wait for the Others?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
No.
Oh, no.
That may have been the one that I also cut to put the other one in. So...
Jennie, Michael McDonald is not going to be happy with you because he actually covered this song in one of the weirdest like things I've heard. But like for my mum, she would have loved it.
I definitely need to hear that.
I'll also say that right now we're out of NTP technically. I think there's a couple 3s that'll die if we get a couple more 4s. So, all right, Jennie.
Oh shit! I gotta make a choice now.
Pretty sure.
Nan. Okay, I've lost track of which ones I picked and which ones I didn't. I heard you guys didn't like Yellow House as much, so I'm gonna go to bat for that album. um, Central and Remote was the other one from Adult Swim that I got my attention, so I'm going with that one.
I got it.
Nope.
No.
It's 2. Hanging on by a thread. Jenny. All right. Chris?
Me? All right. Let's go up to Horn of Plenty. Alligator.
No.
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 No, I really like it. I liked the line, fight it off with a stick. Chuckle.
All right. Josh?
This song is just, there's not many songs around that make me feel almost like weightless, but Ready Able is a song that I just think is one of the most beautiful things.
Absolutely.
No.
Sorry.
I was re-listening to it and I almost added it on, but I was running out of time. Did not.
Oddly enough, contrary to what most people would probably have, it's my top Vectimus song.
Wow.
Mm.
Now, I can't save you guys to bring it to the 3, so it's hanging on by a thread. But what's interesting is, Josh, you asked Reddit, and Ready Able was like one of the few that got more than one, right?
Yeah, that and All We Ask. Grizzly Bear fans can't pick one song. There's like 100 different options there. But that's good because it obviously means I have a few different sides of the band that people appreciate. But yeah, narrowing it down to one, I thought 2 Weeks would have just been one that they would have said is an essential song, but
they did not. The jerks. All right. Jamie?
I'm going to put this one on the table, which I think every time I listen to the lyrics, I just have so much emotion for it, and it's Neighbors.
Sorry, mate.
Nope. Me neither.
Oh, well, it was bound to happen.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm surprised that we've had so few of that.
Yeah.
We've had a pretty decent consensus so far. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, we'll do a couple more rounds here. How about a simple answer?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Is that everybody but Jamie?
No, I said yeah.
Oh.
Oh, did you?
Oh, couldn't hear you, mate.
So that's a unanimous.
Is that unanimous?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow, there's our 3.
You're just building suspense, Jamo.
This one felt like a no-brainer when it came up. At least for this show.
It's real. Yeah, it's got a real bouncy vibe to it. I don't know. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. When this came up, I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's in." I don't care if anybody else has it. That's in. All right, Jenny.
I don't feel like we've done a lot from Horn of Plenty, so I'm gonna go with Showcase.
No.
No.
Nope.
That one has a real spooky vibe. I'm into it.
Jenny's just taking shots now because
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Shots in the dark.
Yeah,
you got to take them.
Well, the thing with that first album, I liked it, and I actually had 4 songs from it. But when I went back through, I was like, there wasn't enough difference between each song for me to justify that. It's good, but it's very lo-fi and it's very like kind of one note. And when you're choosing only 10 songs out of this whole discography, I was like, I really have to cut it down to I had 2.
Yeah.
And that was probably generous.
and the thing that makes an album strong and consistent actually makes it worse for a show like The Program, because you're like, well, just all the songs are pretty good, but like it's hard differentiating between them. Whereas sometimes it's kind of good having a couple of crap songs on an album because it makes it easy to find the great ones, you know,
Right.
Yeah,
narrow
yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
And that's
So you get-
exactly why I had an issue
yeah.
when I was listening to Painted Ruins. It's just quality.
Front to back.
And I think
Consistent
even
quality.
Justin was alluding to that with Shields. I know you said you're getting to it later, but I'm assuming that's what you meant in that there's this big consistent quality. How do I choose?
Yeah, it's just a lot of times it felt like I'd have a song like a Simple Answer, right, where it feels like a no-brainer, and then the songs around it were great too, but in a different way that didn't serve this. You know what I mean? Like where it's just like the song was written to give me a simple answer, and like it more on this later. I don't want to bog this down with this, but to your point, yes, I thought it was a great album, whole thing. So where are we at, Chris?
Yeah. I'll go back to that. Sorry, my brain just froze up. Horn of Plenty. Yeah. The songs are all very similar on that album, but I really enjoyed a lot. And I always like the weird songs. Let's go with La Duchess, and I expect another one out of this one.
Yeah. Sorry, friend.
That's all right.
Ah, mate.
All right, Josh.
I'm gonna go with a Song of Shields, which might just be my favorite Grizzly Bear song. I just love how this song builds and builds, and it's called Half Gate.
That's my number 2.
I do not have. Sorry.
I don't think I do. My mouse just died on me, so give me a second.
I always hate it when I don't have somebody's like favorite song.
Oh yeah,
It always makes me feel like I'm such an idiot.
I didn't get it right.
Of course, that's a great song. I should have had that song.
It was good. It was kind of in my last consideration, like the top 25, because I liked the energy build also. That was the note that I made on it. I did love that song, but you can only pick 20.
I love how it just explodes in the second half of the song. Like it builds and builds and builds that anticipation and then just releases at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I was talking about before about when they get it right with the dual vocalists, like it really hits. And I love how the whole song changes mood when Daniel starts singing in the chorus. Beforehand, it's kind of I wouldn't say it's optimistic, but it sounds a bit more positive. And then the chorus is just really forlorn sounding and really sad sounding.
Yeah.
But it just has a lot of emotion. I know a lot of their songs have a lot of emotion in it, but this one always gets me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's one of those songs where if you just listen to the first half, like listening to the first half would be in the lower teens/20s, but then if you listen to the whole thing, that's what brings it from, the lower good list right to the top of the list for me.
And something I found as well, this is just with all Grizzly Bear songs, like, and I forgot, there'd be songs, like, I know Yet Again was one where I'm like, oh, this is pretty straightforward for them. But then, like, I'm going through, like, the minutes of the song. It takes, like, 2 minutes to get to the chorus. Like, obviously they're not pop songs. It's just a Grizzly Bear, always pushing their boundaries. But you'd be like, oh, yeah, this song's got a big chorus. And you're like, wow, it's 3 minutes into the song. Bloody hell.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not many bands where my patience actually lasts that long.
Yes.
Right.
Or my
Yeah.
ADHD. I
Yeah.
don't know, one of those.
I know I mentioned like when we did the Jet episode that they have a very straightforward classic rock sensibility to them. This band is kind of in this similar. It also reminds me of classic rock in a lot of ways, and that's one of the things like where you listen to a song from the 70s and it'll take 2 minutes to build up and get to the point because that's how radio was at the time and everything.
Yep.
And they have the harmonies, like they remind me of like Steely Dan, they remind me of like America, they remind me of the Beach Boys. Like they have those great solid harmonies like these classic rock bands. So
there you go.
Mm.
All right.
I used to see a lot of Beach Boys. Sorry, mate, go on.
What song was that we were just talking about?
Halfgate.
Okay.
Okay.
Halfgate.
All right.
That was a
No,
2.
for some reason, because you kept talking about it, and I'm like, I'm sure I have this on my list, but I don't.
All right.
I had to double check. My bad.
All right, Jamie.
So the next high song on my list, which I think elevated itself in my list purely because it was in my head, and I was like, if it's in my head, it has to be on my list, and that's Speaking Rounds.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's my turn to be the asshole.
My note for this song was eerie folk,
Mhm.
which probably is a great description for Grizzly Bear as a whole.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a 4 though. That's good. 4s are good.
Ooh.
All right, back around to me. Let me try one of my Painted Ruins songs here. How about Losing All Sense?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good song.
I think that one was my number 21.
Oh,
No, I didn't have it either. I'm sorry.
okay. All right.
That's another one of the this is quite poppy for Grizzly Bear songs, but it's not like any pop song.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jenny.
Oh man, I hate making choices. How about, you know what? Why don't we just look, I love Yellow House. I don't care. I'm gonna go with Marla.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No.
that's the other one that I was listening to right before you came on. That I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Hmm?
That run right
It's
there.
like what Chris said. It's like what Chris said before. I'm feeling bad for saying no to these songs.
Yeah.
All right.
I understand.
Well, you know, it's there's a lot to choose from. Chris?
Yeah. I'll stick with that album and go Lullaby.
I got Lullaby.
Nice.
Sorry, mate.
No.
My note on that said, "Man, this is hard," but it's a no.
Yeah.
That's okay.
All right. Josh?
I'm gonna go if I Live With You. I just love the random dynamic shifts in this. It's very manic.
Yes, I love this song.
No, I do not have it.
Oh,
Ah.
that's another one I was gonna bring back. My wife made me go to the store at 8:45, and I had to stop listening, making changes.
I got it.
I was gonna make room for it, and I did not.
So 3.
I like how you guys went to cut it down and then ended up with more songs.
Yeah. My first pass was 20, and then it went up and back and down. And yeah.
All right.
That's good though. Just it goes to show the songs grow.
Yep.
Grizzly
Right.
Bear songs.
Yeah.
They're not.
And plus, when you hear the whole song and not half of it
Mm-hmm.
in one ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Jamie?
I'm thinking, do I rip the Band-Aid and show everyone the one song I have from Yellow House, or do I just make you wait? And I think I'm just going to make you guys wait.
Ah!
And I'm going to put forward another one from Painted Ruins, Aquarian.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Fuck, that is a real
Me.
chaotic start to that song. It's great.
Yeah.
Was that no, Jenny?
That was a no. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
The very start of the song, it could be like a Mario horror game or something. That's what it sounds like to me.
Drowning music.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm thinking maybe 2 more rounds and then we dump out.
Yep.
All right. I've been sitting on this one. I'm gonna go back to Shields real quick. How about Sleeping Ute?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna choose that next. I love that
Sorry,
big
my
fuck
list.
off riff throughout the song, you know. It's like he brings out all his rock licks for one song.
All right. So that was a no from Chris and Jamie.
Unfortunately.
All right.
a great start to the album, though. It's
Mm.
fucking fantastic.
They're-
But it's just not on my list.
They're very good at, because I can see both sides with a track one. I think they're great track ones, but I can also like they build off of the track one on every record, especially to me with Shields. So like I can
Actually,
understand.
that's a very good point. I think the only track one I have from all of their albums on my list was Southern Point.
Makes
Hmm.
sense.
Well,
All right, Jenny.
Okay. You said we're doing 2 more rounds?
Yeah, make them good.
So we'll see about that. I'm just gonna stink it up over here. Oh, you know what? Since I mentioned they had that classic rock sound, this one reminded me a lot of Steely Dan for some reason, which may or may not work in its favor for other people. Glass Hillside.
That was in my extras, but not in my 20.
no, sorry.
No.
Sorry.
I knew I played the game too fucking hard. That's fine.
Right?
Happens.
All right, Chris.
I'll do my played the game song, even though I know it's not going to be unanimous because it's track one, and it was already said that it was only that one, which is not this one. This is one because I know Justin always likes track one of the first album, so I kept it. Deep Sea Diver.
I got it.
See?
No.
I could have sworn I had that one. Oh, god damn it. That's fine. It's fine.
Now, I will say this about it. I don't think it does what most track one album ones do. I don't think it sets you up for Grizzly Bear. But it was just enough for me to not drop it. You know what I mean? Like I kept coming back to it and going, no, I like this. This is a good. Whereas the rest of the track ones, like they build off of it. On Horn of Plenty, like that's the album one sound. So that's kind of why I kept it.
Yeah, the whole record basically sounds almost the same.
Right.
I had a lot off of it.
All right. Josh?
Now, this song, I have to say, you've got to listen to it live or on YouTube live because I gained a greater appreciation for this after seeing it live. It's called Foreground.
Ooh. I think I have.
That was close
Very
to being on my
haunting
list.
song.
Yes.
Mm.
It's a really good track, and I really appreciate it. But to me, I think it's one that, if I was trying to introduce someone into Grizzly Bear, it's probably not the song I would give to them. But once you do appreciate them, it is a really good track.
All right. So 2. All right. Jamie.
We're gonna go with Sky Took Hold.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Wait, that was 4? Everybody but Chris?
Yeah.
I think what makes this song is the drummer. The drum beat is so catching.
I had a couple of them that I chose just because of the drums, because I'm a huge percussion nut. But that one didn't stay, sorry.
All right.
Damn.
On that whole album, Chris Bear's drumming is really good. Like, on all my notes for the Painted Ruins songs, I usually find myself talking about the beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, like, straight away, he's like stomping away at the start of the song. He pretty much sets the mood as much as the music does.
All right. So last round, we're back to me. How about Fine for Now?
No.
Sorry, mate.
No.
That was in my spares.
All right.
Definitely first pass.
All right. Jenny?
So I have this one marked off, but I don't think we've said it yet. Knife from Yellow House.
And you found the one track.
Ah, yes.
I don't have it.
Not from me.
No, me neither. That's 2.
That's fine.
All right. Chris?
I feel like I won a prize catching that one.
Right? Well, I know Horn of Plenty is not popular, so I'm going to go with the last song that I have that's not on. What's wrong?
No,
I've
sorry.
got that.
All right. So that was Chris and Jamie.
It's not bad.
All right. Josh.
I'm gonna throw out sun in your eyes.
I've got it.
Yes.
I do not.
Ooh.
All right. There's a 3. Looks like we've got quite the conversation that's about to happen.
Uh-oh.
All right. Jamie.
This is truly my last one on my list.
Oh,
Cut out.
what was it? I'm sorry.
Cut out.
Yeah. Cut out? Is that what you said?
Cut out. There we go.
Yeah.
Because you cut
I
out.
don't-
Oh, so that was I was about to say that's a good joke. I've got that.
All right. I do not.
I do not.
All right. So I've only got 3 left. I'll dump these out real quick. Disappearing act.
Yep.
I have it.
Oh,
No.
wow. Okay. 3. 1, 2, 3. Eavesdropping.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
No.
And then last but not least, plans.
Nope.
No.
No.
Yeah, that's why they were my last 3. All right, Jenny, you want to try to make this conversation? Wait, actually, where are we? Unanimous was 3.
Mhm.
3. That means Chris gets the final say.
God
Oh.
damn it! I'm the least deserving of this band to get that. Fine. Okay.
All
And
right,
in some ways, that makes you the most deserving
that's right.
This is
because
true.
you're new.
Yeah.
So.
Justin's
Yeah.
gonna hate me. Okay.
All right,
Jenny,
try to make this a little harder.
I did a terrible job of marking off my list. Speaking rounds was already said.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And Wasted Acres is my last one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good track. It's just that
put
was
that.
close. I think actually, oddly enough, I think I put cut out in Wasted Acres out.
Oh,
Uh,
all right, Chris.
I have 1 left. Fix It.
No.
All right.
I'm surprised I only had 3 ones.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't
I
have
expected more.
that many considering.
Yeah.
Well, I think Jamie's out, so Josh for fun.
I'm out as well.
Oh, okay. So
Oh shit. Okay.
everybody's done. All right. Let me sort
oh
this
my God,
here.
this list.
So we got 3 through unanimously, 2 weeks, yet again, a simple answer, which means Chris gets the final say. We have 26, but I think some of those are 2s, so they're out. So first question, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are 4s. Do we just plop them in and then have Chris pick his final say? Or do we want to discuss the 3s? Because
God.
so the 6 4s are Southern Point, While You Wait for the Others, Speak in Rounds, Morning Sound, 4 Cypresses, and Sky Took Hold.
They're all yeses from me because they're on my list.
I'm fine with the 2 ones that I wasn't on.
All right, so let's see. That was.
I could have sworn that I kept 4 Cypresses. I'm not sure.
All right, so
And I thought I had While You Wait for the Others. I don't remember which other one I was not on.
Morning Sound.
Morning. Oh yeah, and I said you were going to get no argument from me on that. So
I wish I had kept it.
All right, so let's plop those through. That makes that part a little easy. So then that still leaves Southern Point, Speaking Rounds, and Morning Sound. Actually, Jenny just approved. Morning
yeah,
Sound.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, chuck them all in, I reckon.
All right, and then so Southern Point, Speaking Rounds. Like, so I'm the odd man out in Speaking Rounds unless somebody seriously wants to say no. And then Josh,
Yes,
Josh was
straight through.
odd out on Southern Point. So again,
Well, that was in my spares though, so that's all good.
okay.
Can chuck that in.
So let's do both of those. And then that makes the conversation a lot easier and it puts the pressure squarely on Chris to pick
Oh
the
shit!
final say.
Oh, you all suck.
Now, I
Man,
will I
there's
mean
no Yellow House on here. I'm gonna riot.
Well, that would be funny.
It's fair.
We're just hearing the international news cycle.
Now I'll say this though,
Crazed woman.
look what we've done. Painted 3 from Painted Ruins, 3 from Shields, 3 from Vegetamist.
Mm-hmm.
That's a solid start. So do you want to hear what's alive, Chris, or are you going to play however you want to play?
I don't know. Well, I'm gonna bring back Lullaby.
Okay. Lullaby.
I thought about Alligator or Duchess Anne because they're like them. I know Justin doesn't do that.
All right, so let's pull that one through. And then that gives us 10. Here we go. 2 weeks. Yet again, a simple answer. While you wait for the others, 4 cypresses, Sky Took Hold, Morning Sound, Southern Point, Speaking Rounds, Lullaby rounds out our 10. Jenny, of those 10, which one's the one?
I feel like
weeks?
it's got to be 2 weeks.
I think so.
I mean,
Yeah, it's the iconic song.
right? Like, I feel like it checks all the boxes. It sounds like
Mhm.
Grizzly Bear, but it's also very catchy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a song of Grizzly Bears that is good for radio, it's this one.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
sounds like we're all in agreement, eh? Might as well
Yeah.
not. Let's not press our luck. Let's just go with
Yeah.
it.
That was the easiest conversation ever.
Yeah.
Right?
It's funny. We had 5 of us, yet it was probably, as you said, the easiest.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
Yeah. There was like hardly
Yep.
any discussion. There was just these ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw 2 weeks. I was hoping it was the sequel to Week.
It's brand.
It's not, but it's
could you
great.
imagine if Grizzly Bear just put 1 week into one of their albums just out of nowhere? The end of Shields, just
I
it's
wouldn't be
been-
mad.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got 2 weeks. Yet again, a simple answer. While you wait for the others, 4 cypresses, Sky to Cold, Morning Sound, Southern Point, Speaking Rounds, Lullaby. Let's let 2 weeks get a little moment in the sun. Because it needs to warm up.
Maybe play 1 week. For fans of Grizzly Bear, you may like this. Spotify's new algorithm. That'll do.
There we go, folks. We have done it. We have turned you on to Grizzly Bear. You're welcome. Hey, man, you want us to turn you on to a bunch of other bands? It's simple. We're a podcast. Subscribe. Boom. Done. Just pick a band that you want to hear us talk about, and it happens every week. You want to hear me sweat? Because I audibly sweat every week, except for this week. There was not a lot of sweating this week. I'm kind of happy about that. Yeah, man, just subscribe. If you're on Spotify, 5 stars would be awesome. If you are on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars and a comment would be super great. I would appreciate that. If you're listening on legionofstupid.com, you can join our Discord. There is a link to the Discord right there on legionofstupid.com. I need to get on there and update, because all these fine folks on this panel, you can listen to every episode that they've been on by clicking on their name. I'm a good couple months behind on that, unfortunately. Computers happen, and it's not my fault. I'll tell you that much. Shaking my finger and fist at you. How dare you? Also on legionofstupid.com, you can sign up for shows. So if you go to the top, click podcasts, click deprogrammed. Maybe halfway down, there's a sign-up sheet. Tell me what band you want to talk about, and it will happen. All of these folks, except for Jenny. Jenny, I invited onto the show for Foo Fighters like however many moons ago. Everybody else came through via friendships and listening to the show. So just saying, and it happens almost every week. Somebody who listened to the show first came and decided they wanted to talk about a band. So I highly recommend it. It's a good time. It's a good conversation that you get to be a part of. So do that if you like. Patreon.com/oh hi Justin would be a great place if you feel like supporting the show financially. If you've got $1, that would be awesome. It gets you in the door. It gets you an automatic invite to Discord, and it gets you access to different channels. It gets you deprogrammed before the rest of the world, and it gets you the conversation we're about to have, the after the fact conversation, right as we're done with it. So that would be cool if you wanted to get in on that. Would appreciate that. As mentioned, we're a podcast. Subscribe, rate, comment. And the best way you can help the show is by telling somebody that you listen to it. Hi, I listen to Deprogrammed. You can too. I would appreciate that more than words could ever say. And with that, Grizzly Bear, learn them and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Bye.